Hello, Barb Grieve here. I wanted to go over how to make some of these floral tags, and they're watercolor, they're fun to make, and none of them turn out the same. It's kind of fun to play around with it. And this is really a small tag I have here. It's like 4 and 3/4 by 2 1/8 inch tag. And I have a die that I cut this out of the Dina Wakely's her watercolor paper, cotton watercolor paper. And so whatever size tag you have is fine, you know, anything you have that will work. Or you could just cut a rectangle out of her paper if you needed to. I like her paper because it's got a nice texture to it, and it's a thinner paper so that you can work with it easier, I think, and it stays moist longer, so you have more open time with that paper. Okay, so what else you need is watercolor, and any watercolor will do. If you use pan watercolors, that's fine. You're going to need some green, some kind of darker green. Also yellow you need, and ultramarine blue. And you're going to need some kind of red. I like this opera red, but you can use any kind of red you want. Burnt sienna. Burnt sienna is right here. And cadmium orange. And I don't know if I mentioned you need yellow. You need yellow. And ultramarine violet. It's a real violet color. And cobalt blue. And also the pens you need, or the brushes you need are a 1/2 inch square brush, 1/4 inch square brush, and a pointed round brush. As pointed as you can get. This is an oriental brush I bought somewhere, I don't know where, and it was a cheap brush, but it's got a really nice point to it. I used Dina Wakely stamp sets, and I used Abstract Blooms, Good Idea, Scribbled Text Elements, and For the Love of Circles. And then I used her mantra stencil. And also I used Distress Oxide inks in frayed burlap, peacock feathers, and black soot. And I used his inker and the attachments that go with that. I used a couple colors, so I have to change the attachments as I'm going along. Also, you need water. I did use this distress marker, and this color is peeled paint. And so we can go ahead and start this. The way you start is to take the tag and to stencil the mantra words on it. Position it where you want it to be. On the card, on the tag, and then use your peacock feathers and stencil the words on the tag. Now I leave a space here for a flower right on the right top. You don't have to do that, but just I like to have a little open area where I'm going to put the flower. And then the same on this left side here towards the bottom. And there you have it stenciled. Okay, so then I put this tag on a piece of plexiglass in order to hold it so it doesn't slide everywhere. Now I have a really big piece of plexiglass. You don't need this big a piece. if you could just find one, you know, maybe that's using it covering on a frame or something like that. I mean, the tag is only like 4 by 2 and something, so you don't really need that big of plexiglass, but I have this because I work bigger sometimes. And so you add water to the back of the tag, and I use a bigger brush for that, just any kind of wash brush that you might happen to have. You know, from 1 inch to 2 inches, doesn't matter really. I put a little water on the plexiglass, and then you adhere the tag to the plexiglass, and the water will make it stick. And then you can spray the front of the tag, and I use a mister because I don't want to disturb the lettering that much, if at all possible. And then I just kind of smooth it out with my wash brush. And then you can clean around if you want to get rid of some of the water. Yes, you can clean it around, get rid of some of the water. Then you can start with your stamps, and I'm going to start with the Abstract Flowers stamp. And you take the ink applicator, and I use frayed burlap for this, for the flower part of the stamp. And you want to apply as little stamp as possible, as little of the ink as possible, because what it's going to do is it's going to spread with the water. So you don't want it to be spreading all over the place. So you want to have it on there and have the definition of the rose, but you don't want to spread it all over the place. And then I use the distress marker to do the leaves. So you just color the leaves in with this. And that's it for that. And then you stamp the rose onto the tag. Okay, so then you can take your brush and some paper towels and lift some of the where the ink has spread out. Lift that up, and then this seems just a little dry to me. I'm going to just spritz it just a little bit, and then take some of the red, and I like to mix some of my red with some of the violet, and it's up to you, whatever your preference is. If you want to go with a pure red, that's fine. I just like a little bit of violet in there. And when you do this, you just want to do some strokes, but you don't want to cover up all the white. Just want to be careful that you don't cover up all the white. Rinse your brush, dry it, and then lift some of the color out. And you lift color and leave some of the white in there. Try to leave some white to make it a little more interesting in there. And you just kind of spread the color where it's going out over the line and stuff. Just kind of lift it a little bit if you can. Keep wiping the brush off so you don't just spread color and that's it. You want to keep wiping your brush off. And just leave a little white where you can to define the way the light hits the rose. And just play with it wherever you want your colors to go. If you want to add a little more color, you can. You can add some more color here and there if you want to, just to define a petal a little more. And for the leaf, you want to take some of your green and mix it with a little bit of the red, just to dull the green down a little bit. Dull the green down, the color of the green color down a little bit. And you can add a little white yellow to it. I need to put some water on my yellow. It's drying out on me. You can put a little yellow into it. And then you can follow there's a leaf here that you can follow. And you can put some things down here. You can really do whatever you want as far as the graffiti around the flower goes. You can add more leaves, put some lines around, make the lines blurry. Like that, and like that. Whatever you want to do for now. And we're going to start on the other flower up here. I want to see how wet this is. This is getting kind of dry up here too. I'm going to just mist it a little bit to get it a little bit wetter. We don't want it to be totally dry. And then start with the daisy looking flower and do the same thing. We're going to put the frayed burlap onto the flower part, and to put the peeled paint on the leaves part of the flower. Okay, so let's see, this is going to be like this. So we want to do these two here. Let's have some outlines of leaves. Then we're going to all you do is just stamp this on here, on top, above the rose. And you have your daisy there. So I'm going to have my daisy be orange. And so I'm going to put some orange up here. And you just want to stroke your color in, make sure you leave some white as you stroke it in. Don't worry about being so careful about every little thing. You can just define the flower, the petals, and leave some white in. And then in the center you want to put yellow. Put some yellow in the center of the daisy. Then you take your brush and clean it. And you want to kind of clean the outside to define the petal a little bit more. And then you want to stroke on the inside. And you kind of bring color in, but you want to leave some white too, so that there's some highlights showing on the petals, You don't want them just to be solid color without some relief for the eye. The white gives the eye a little relief as it looks around the flower. Make sure you wipe your brush off as you lift some of the color off. Make sure you wipe your brush off as you're doing that. and just play with it. See how you want it to look. And take some of the brown you have, and define around the center of the flower. I just want to define a little bit around the center of the flower. And you can do a little bit of definition in between the petals too, you know, here and there. And just, you know, keep it loose. Try to just have fun with it and relax. I wanted to define this rose center of the rose a little more. And so it's a little more defined in the center. And then can lift a little bit of this out, lift a little bit of this out. I can, yeah, just blend it in a little bit so it looks a little more natural. And then you can work on your leaves. And I did the green, and I add a little red into the green again, just to dull it out a little bit. The green I have is it's just so bright, springy type green. I just wanted to make it a little duller. And then you come and you make some leaves around the flower to define it a little bit more. And fill in this area with some graffiti between the flowers. Just, you know, here and there. Add some of the petals and this kind of stuff. Just some big graffiti you want to have out, coming out from the flowers. And I like to mix ultramarine blue and some burnt sienna. So it's ultramarine blue and burnt sienna. And I like to have a little more ultramarine blue than burnt sienna. Is my preference. So there's just a little more blue to it than the real dark brown. And so you come here and you got some of this color you can put down here if you want. Put it around the rose here and there. Just to have a little definition, a little more definition on the rose. Put it up here just to, you know, kind of make the rose look a little more defined. In between the two flowers. And around the daisy. And up here, to show some definition to the daisy itself, where the flowers are on top. And, you know, you can play with this as much as you want. Where this is spreading out, you can go ahead and lift some of the rough edges up. Here you have this, so you have it going out. Just kind of smooth it out. Make sure you keep, once you lift, wipe your brush off. Now this I need to just, I don't know, somehow spread that out a little bit. And just play around, whatever you think looks good. If you need to add more, add more. And you can do however much foliage and graffiti you want. It's up to you. And then what I do is add some of the script in with the graffiti. And I've been using this one from, this is from, I think this one is from her, Dina Wakley's Scribbled Text Elements. And this one, we use black soot for this. And just add some of this text in here and there, where you think it would look good. You look good there. And maybe down in this corner here. And, you know, wherever you want to add it, wherever it's gonna, you think it's gonna look good on your flower, on your floral. And sometimes I take another one of her, this is my favorite script one of hers. And this one's from, what is the name of that? For the Love of Circles. This is the script one she has in with For the Love of Circles. And I love this. I just love this script stamp. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and add one of the small words from from her Abstract Floral stamp set. And I think this one is Grow. And just add that down here. And try not to just mess it up like I just did, but anyway. So I take this off here for it to dry because, and it's strong. You can move it off here easily. I don't want to leave it here because it's just going to get more and more diluted as it lays in the water. So I just take it off and I let it dry, and there you have a nice little abstract floral tag. So thanks for watching. I'll see you later.